get ready to be blown away, because we are about to be joined on stage by Pattern CEO, Dave Wright. Dave, come on out.
Wow. I don't think my vibe matches, smoke and fog and things as well as maybe it should. I felt a little out of place in the movie star thing. What's amazing, I almost can't go forward without just acknowledging the team that put this together. When you think of sort of a little data nerdy company, we're actually pretty damn good at events. The team, as you see the attention to detail, and you'll probably realize that this is not what I managed. You start getting, I check in, you get the little hotel card, and it has Accelerate. I've never seen this before, and I think you'll find, as I found going about things the last while, that this is about as well executed and run as I have seen. And I just thank you to the team, mind blown. All right, I think you have days like this where you reflect, in the life of a business, where you sort of think back and you get a little bit nostalgic. And for me, this is, we've been at this for 10 years now, so we started in 2013. And we had a pretty cool name in the beginning that I came up with myself. And I did the graphic design for the original one. It was red and black, and this was the improved one, iSurf. And I think that the team did a pretty good job as they rebranded it to Pattern. What do you guys think? Despite, I pushed back on it a little bit until they explained, the math implications, and that was pretty exciting. These pictures here are of Mel's our co-founder, of her living room and the front of her house. This is where this all got started. And I know Mel hates it when I do this, but Mel, could you stand up? Oh boy, probably the most brilliant business mind I know of in this state. I know there's a lot of good ones. I think I could make an argument that she falls into that camp. Pattern by every metric, I think you would consider us pretty successful. We now have over 20 global offices. We service about 70 countries. We have 1,500 employees. This year we'll do $1.5 billion in revenue. And everything, from a metric-wise seems really good. But I would say the thing that is so fun is that we've happened to land at a time where AI and data are converging on our industry in a way that is so cool. And so despite, my better judgment sometimes, I'm going to try a live experiment. And we've dry run this a lot. And it has worked most of the time. And so against, some advisement, we don't try this, I'm going to try it anyway. All right, we've got this. It's hard to see through the fog here, but I need 2 or 3 brands that are at least $50 million or bigger. Just raise your hand. If you're willing to do this experiment, which means you don't have to give us any personal information, anything, but we're going to run a whole bunch of AI in the background, and we're just going to do some teaser things. Is there 3 hands there? Doesn't it seem sketchy that it's like right in the center section? You guys aren't plants, are you? All right. What brand? Hunter? Like the fans. Okay. What else? All right. Over there. Well, I can't see you, but Thorn. Thorn, R.C. Willie. All right. Okay. Any others? Little giant ladder. I'm reading these to the team. I've got a whole team, and they're going to tell me with my earpiece which one they actually want to give a try on. Just so that, Balance of Nature is another one. And Panasonic. We got a lot of them. Okay. So Jordan, I got Jordan in my ear here, okay? Jordan, which one are we doing? All right, they're going to do Little Giant Ladder. That seemed like the scariest one to me, but are you guys going to do the Little Giant on the 20-minute one, Jordan? All right. So in 20 minutes, I think we're going to, now we've broke a lot of things for this, but because this will revolutionize how we operate in digital, I think it's important to start trying to break stuff and pushing it to their limits, and we've done plenty of that. You know, yesterday we're in the middle of a dry run, we ran out of tokens, and OpenAI, you can't just call them and ask for more. They're pretty busy. And we were trying to have the team just work off-site in a little room here, but the amount of bandwidth we needed to be able to run this experiment, no offense to the good people at the Salt Palace, but they told us it would be $30,000. So they're off-site at our headquarters about 30 miles down the road. And I don't think what we're doing has ever been done, especially pushing the limits of time. We're going to grab another one of those brands that, that they mentioned, and we'll do a 24-hour analysis. If you have 24 hours to work with AI, you can literally build full websites. You can do the content for every product. You can do it in 12 languages. You can do some phenomenal things. We're going to show some teasers. My breakout session tomorrow, which is at 1:30, we'll go through like how exactly we're getting to this and how interesting this is. It's very fascinating. I think it's just a phenomenal opportunity for all of us here. And it almost landed in our laps. 7 months ago, I guess it was started in 2017 with the paper on transformer models, but now where we've landed in 2023 is just sort of mind-blowing, as you've all experienced to some degree or another. All right. You know how you're biased a little bit on your kids? You think they're really cute? She's cute though, right? So this is my, little Lexi. She, in this picture, was 9 years old, and I was her soccer coach. Now she, of course, has graduated from UCLA, and she's actually back here. She's, cheering me on here. But, she actually joined a brand as a graphic designer, so she's now joined the ranks of, she's at KNS and works for Tap Shoes and is a graphic designer there. And this is a sort of fun story, and I think it helps set us the tone a little bit for the conference. I had this idea when she was 9 and coaching the soccer team that, hey, let's all get in shape and we'll sign up for these community 5Ks. How many of you ever done one of these? So quite a few people. They're not competitive at all. Everyone just sort of goes out, they have fun, they run, they enjoy their time, and it's a good time. So we thought, let's go do this thing. Well, I gave this speech, before, because we signed up for the Utah Valley one. There was a couple thousand people that signed up for this. And I gave Lexi the speech when she was 9, because she was in like the 9 to 14 age bracket, so she was the youngest. And I said, hey, here's the thing. You're not going to win. No one wins these. Well, I know someone does, but it's not us. And she's shaking her head, all this stuff. And we start running, and we're about like at the 2-mile mark. And I ran in high school and was, a good solid, slightly above mid runner, right? And so running with her, and there's these little curbs they have like a 3 feet thing of grass, and we're like the 2-mile mark, and I'm starting to not feel good. And she's like running up these curbs, and I'm like, hey, you want to, I don't know, maybe conserve energy or, something. And she's like, hey, Dad, when we hit that tree, let's pick it up. And I'm like, okay. Well, we're running like a, I don't know, 8:45 mile or 9-minute mile or something. And my version of pick it up is like go from an 8:45 to like an 8:30, right? That is picking it up. And she like just takes off. We crossed the tree mark, and it was like a dead sprint. So finally, I was just like, just go. So I just leave me behind. And so she takes off, and somehow she won that race. And so my speech didn't do a lot of good in that case, and so it didn't develop a lot of confidence in her dad's, ability to tell her what's going to happen. But over the next couple of years, things got sort of fun because she was so fast. She ended up running for UCLA. She set some high school records. So she was elitely good. But I don't know why. I wanted to beat her one time in my life. Just once. Because I knew that if I didn't do it early, it would never happen. So we signed up for these races like once every month or two when we go out run the community 5K. And she would always beat me, and she'd start teasing me. She's a little bit of a smack talker. It's weird at 9 years old, but she did. And so over the, probably the next couple of years, I start training a little bit more, but I still am not close. And I don't know why I got it in my head. I was like, I got to beat her like once in my life. I don't know why I cared. But, I did. And so I finally signed up for this downhill race, which favors, people who have to carry a little bit more weight, a little older, right? We all know this. So if you ever want to beat your 10-year-old daughter, maybe do the downhill. So we signed up for the downhill race. We're within a couple hundred yards of the finish line, and for the first time in my life, I'm like next to her. And I'm like, I think I can beat her on a dead sprint. So I let it loose. And we're coming in here, a dead sprint, and I'm just like, this is us. That's just AI, actually. But it follows the AI theme. It's pretty cool, right? We didn't have the picture, but there's some things I like what AI does to my body. And then there's other things I don't like as much. But anyway, so we go running into the finish line, and I beat her by like a couple feet, right? Or is it, she's like, maybe it wasn't a full couple feet, but it was like around in there. It was close. And I don't know what got into me, but I turned around and I was like, booyah! And I was pretty excited because we'd been smack talking forever until I realized like that we weren't alone. And so I started looking around, and everyone was looking at me and her, and they're like, is this for real? And I didn't know how to explain, like, hey, I've been losing for 2 years. When you're this cute little girl, and you're like, oh yeah. I'm a 36-year-old, and so I think as we get competing, I thought it was fun, and in good fun. But there's also like sort of the ugly competition that sometimes happens. Got some good pictures here. Now these might be all in good fun, I don't know, but they don't really look like it. And so I think as you think about a conference like this, like Accelerate, one of the things that we've done is you'll notice Pattern is not really branding the conference. We're branding and Accelerate because we want our competitors to come. We want everyone to come and feel open and free to share. Matter of fact, I was out in the hallway and one of our competitors stops me. He's like, hey, thanks for letting us come. And I had another big competitor shoot me a text and was like, hey, do you mind if I come? And I was like, I'll buy you a ticket. So I think the idea of when we can all get together like this, sometimes these little bits of ugly competition, I know we're still going to have some level of fun, right? and we're going to all compete. That's just part of the game. But I think we can slow down for a couple of days, and that's the theme or the branding of the conference. You know, what we need. I know this is weird to think about this in a math way, but if you're looking at the output of a conference, which is like maybe a label in machine learning terms, you guys might not think this is cool, but I thought that was a cool analogy. So if you have an output of a conference, and you have functions that feed that conference, you know, for me, what we hope that everyone gets is, I guess, aha moments, right? So that spark or that thing that you go home with, and it changes how you act or what you do. So if you study where aha moments happen, it's largely in places where you have reduced cognitive load. So when you can slow down and like stop what you're doing, so a lot of people get it like when they're doodling. I get it when I'm out running or exercising. You know, I think, you know, maybe mowing the lawn. Anything that's somewhat repetitive, where you can still be in the game, but you're reducing that cognitive load, which hopefully we can accomplish here. And if you'll see the theming of the conference, you'll notice these prisms all around. I thought this one was really cool, so I had to walk you through it. So the idea, of course, is a prism is, you know, the white light, you know, contains every color of the rainbow, right? And as it comes and changes, you know, from one medium to another, it will refract and slow down. That's the whole idea. And you might have, you know, a red, orange, yellow, which is at the top of the spectrum. You know, they will either slow down or speed up at a different speed than, you know, green, blue, indigo, violet. So you end up with a rainbow, which is really quite cool. And we thought of this in terms of the conferences. You walk around, you'll notice this theme everywhere, which the idea is, as you go through a conference or you go through another medium, you just slow down. And hopefully we can create that output, or, you know, of some really cool aha moments. And so in the spirit of that, here's our main video of the conference.
Every second, more than 10 billion neurons fire in the human brain, triggering trillions of synapses, the building blocks of ideas. Epiphanies happen in the middle of the night. Insights arise amidst chaos. Breakthroughs hit us when we least expect them. When we slow down to consider the possibilities, our brains are capable of incredible ideas, groundbreaking inventions, and game-changing innovation. Ideas are what make us human. They make us smarter, more efficient, more effective. Ideas are contagious. They improve the way we work and play. They even transform the way we deliver products. Ideas are revolutionizing entire industries and blazing new trails. These sparks aren't born of the Zuckerbergs or the Gates. They come from everyday professionals, the people behind the people. Today's epiphanies become tomorrow's sensations, next week's viral hits, and next year's overnight successes. These flashes, these sparks, these innovations, and these people are what make e-commerce one of the most exciting growth drivers of the global economy. And the next revolutionary ideas are sitting in this room right now. It's time to slow down and let the sparks fly. Welcome to Accelerate23.
Amazing. That team who put that together, it's amazing. And I think it'll be fun. Everyone will do this differently. You know, how you slow down, how you have these moments. You know, everyone's different. And so it'll be fun to see how we all go about that process. And hopefully, you know, we're just open to share and open to learn and talking a lot. This is why what we do matters. Check this out. So just in the US, which is this top section, if there's $1 trillion spent, and we came up with this number of $121 per order, and there's a whole bunch of math behind it, and it's probably still wrong. And if, say it takes you to get, but it's in the ballpark, if, say it takes you 57 minutes to go to the store to get something. So if you can order it online, which is what we're all doing, in the US, we're saving close to 1 million years of time. And for those who don't like to go shopping, I mean, look at this worldwide numbers, 5 million years. Now, I know a lot of us are going to do something really productive with this time. You know, they're going to read to their kids, and they're going to do something meaningful for the world. And then there's going to be like another group of people that I might be included in that might play like Civ or maybe Clash Royale or something where I can get beat by 13-year-olds. Because maybe I have a thing for that. You know, I get beat by, you know, kids on games. But this is just a fascinating, you know, why we, you know, are impacting the world. Okay, I know this is a weird way to pitch this, but it works really well in my mind. I think we're in the middle of a revolution, probably. Think about this. We now have, this is like a life equation for me, like a life equation. So anytime you want an output, you know, you might not think of it as a label, but, you know, same thing. I do. So you're trying to get this output, and you can change X as a function, you know, and you have a function, so you have something that does the work. So this might be like a human brain that takes data in and delivers some output. And it might be a human brain mixed with AI that takes data and prompts and produces some output. So without question, so if you even look at some of the large language learning models that are out, you know, you just take Llama, for example, which is the one that Facebook released or, you know, possibly got leaked. The parameters that inform a neural network for, you know, is 65 billion, which is essentially, you know, mapping out all the different pathways to get to a solution. And then they're using 1.4 trillion tokens, which are all the points of meaning to define that language learning model. And you can literally just download that, even if you aren't training it in any way, and you can start training it on whatever you want. And so imagine changing the function here, and this function has gotten so good, it's actually creating data and prompts by itself now. It's almost human-like, which then leads to some output. And if you think of the output for us, say you're trying to optimize, you know, a keyword or a keyword phrase. You're trying to pick, you know, you've got 10 million keywords or keyword phrases. Say you're just doing, you know, trying to optimize Amazon or whatever. And so your output is, I need to choose which keywords to use. Okay, as a human, no learning models, no machine learning. You got your whiteboard, and you've got what you know, and you choose your output, and it will be mediocre. Imagine as this world evolves, and you can start leveraging this, that then creates more of this, that will lead to outputs that have to be massively better. So mathematically, we are sort of on the verge of an AI revolution for our space. Because from a lot of spaces like self-driving cars or whatever, if they get it like 99% right, it's still useless, right? Because it still might kill someone. If we get it 99% right, it's like revolutionarily good. So this is almost, you can't argue that we are on the verge of something very interesting, especially if you start looking at the outputs. So if you're a brand, this is what you care about, right? You care about revenue, and the way you get that is traffic times conversion times price times availability, and you repeat that for lifetime customer value. What if all of these outputs over here go through those functional models, and the output is 10x or 20x? Imagine if you're not on that train, and say another brand is. I think there will be epic winners over the next decade, 5 years. And unfortunately, because this will be so game-changing, I believe there will also probably be epic losers. If you start breaking down the formula even further, you start seeing like what a human might have to do as you know, we have whiteboards and war rooms of this equation, and we spend forever on these things. And it's super fun. Like, I can't believe how much fun we're having on this. But you can see how this, we're on the verge of something. Exactly how big it is, I don't know. But it's definitely something. And then you have to do all of that across the globe. With a human, imagine if you can, enhance that human and give them all these extra tools. We are going to change things in such a dramatic way. It's super exciting. And we're just going to give you a little teaser. Tomorrow I'm going to do a breakout session at 1:30 of the AI. Jordan, are we good to go? All right. So these guys created this from scratch. We used a lot. We have 300 trillion data points at Pattern. And so we're informing the model. We call it the brain. You cannot do this with one AI tool. We're leveraging 33. There's 1,600 tools out there. It's adding 25 tools a week. That's our output. We've talked a lot about that. And then in order to build all of this, you have to have a fact sheet, essentially. Our fact sheet that we built behind the scenes with Little Giant, how big was it, Jordan? 250 pages, built in 20 minutes. Pretty cool. And it has all of these things in it: product, brand, community, demographics. Just the fact sheet by itself is like pure gold. And would take, like, if you imagine, go back to the function, if we can optimize that, it's just, we're going to revolutionize some things. All right, here's just a quick example. We'll give you a teaser. The rest you have to come to the presentation tomorrow. All right, so here's just some short, video clips that I guess follows what they're currently doing online. All the styles are set. All of this completely AI generated. Next. All right, here's the video. I hope this works. Oh, wait, before we start this, Jordan.
The Little Giant.
It might not look like it, but I chose these clothes 4 days ago because I created my avatar off of these same clothes. So be watching.
Presenting the Little Giant Velocity Ladder, your multitasking companion. I have 9 kids and have spent a lot of time over the years hanging Christmas lights as part of our traditions. Little Giant Ladder has made this job easy and safe for me. It effortlessly transforms into A-frame, extension, and even 90-degree configurations. Thanks to Rock Lock adjusters, changes are quick and easy. With tip and glide wheels, it's transport ready. Rated for 300 pounds and exceeding all safety standards, it's built for reliability.
Pretty interesting, huh? Full AI. I don't know if anyone's ever tried to do that in 20 minutes, but maybe you should ask your advertising teams to do that for you next meeting. If they need help, just give us a call. We'll help put some of these together. This is really fun. Okay, keep going. Next. All right, so this gets created you could probably create this. You've probably all done this where you get out and use ChatGPT or use, whatever tools you might be using. You might use Midjourney, you might use a combination to create your content, to write your listings. The data that goes into this listing is 16 pages long and is informed with all your competitors. We're analyzing who's winning the space. We're analyzing who's losing the space. We're creating images, reverse engineering the images into tokens, and we're creating images that are winning images. And so this is completely AI, completely hands-off. And if you start reading these, you're like, wow, it's pretty damn good. Next. We also did it in Spanish. Next. French. And we have this joke. Every time we do the French one, the AI guy, they have to include the Eiffel Tower, as though to make sure people knew it's French. So, oh my gosh, I think we got 3 Eiffel Towers in this when everyone's having fun back at the office. Okay, next. That's pretty cool, right? For all of you who might stop at Kronos, you can actually create your listings in Klingon on the fly using little giant ladders. Next. German. And Mandarin. All right. Big round of applause to the team. Amazing. You can learn more at the breakout. Thank you, and have a great conference.